Good morning and welcome to today's program, The Roundtable. My name is Isa Nu. Today we are going to be looking at a major issue because we've had series of security challenges, and we can definitely say that for those of us that live in Abuja, just last week we had some issues with regards to security challenges, and definitely, you know, the military during the weekend, or let me say over the weekend, were able to carry out a clearance across some parts of Abuja and recording so much success. And definitely the issue of security is something that we can't leave that alone to the government. We all have to take our part or play our part in all this. And Nigeria, as you know, continues to be a developing country, struggling to find its feet among other nations. And this is apparently due to the numerous factors, including the prevalence insecurity that have continued to present a challenge to its development and growth. And myriads of factors have definitely contributed to the magnitude of insecurity across the nation. And many erudite scholars have identified several causes of insecurity in Nigeria that are inimical to socioeconomic growth and development. These factors have bedeviled the smooth flow of business activities in Nigeria. It is obvious that unemployment causes extreme poverty, which further instigate crime that give rise to insecurity in the nation. So we start asking ourselves, when are we going to get this right? Because it is high time things are put into more perspective, despite the fact that we've seen some major checkups in the Nigerian army. It is expected that, yes, all those checkups will definitely bring about a very peaceful environment where we can all go back to our farmlands, we can all go back to our businesses and then get the best for the country. And then before now, you know, the Nigerian government have made significant purchase, most especially with our hardware in the country. You know, however, the country's diverse ethnic makeup is not itself a cause of insecurity. We have this diverse nature that needs to be well harnessed to better the security situation in the country. And with all the hardwares that were purchased by the president in the past, the questions people are asking definitely is, why are we not using this? Definitely, if you remember the Geneva Convention, there are certain things you are not allowed to use because they believe that this is not a full-blown war. So if that is the case, what are the way out? How do we manage this situation? These are some of the questions we'll definitely be asking our guest this morning when we have him on set. So we'll just take a very short break, and then when we return, we start up with a conversation with our guests.
Mr. President, last Saturday, the country which I have the honor to represent, the Federation of Nigeria, became independent and assumed the rights and the responsibilities of a sovereign state. Today, Nigeria has been admitted into the United Nations organization and assumes still more responsibilities. I wish to make our position plain beyond any matter of doubt as regards the African continent. We in Nigeria appreciate the advantages which the size of our country and of its population give us, but we have absolutely no aggressive intentions. We shall never impose ourselves upon any other country and shall treat every African territory, big or small, as our equal, because we honestly feel that it is only on that basis of equality that peace can be maintained in our continent. We in Nigeria are a populous country. There are about 40 million of us, and our territory is relatively large. We are willing to learn before we rush into the field of international politics. But we are totally unwilling to be diverted from the ideals which we think true. That is the reason, Mr. President, why we in Nigeria shall not be found to align ourselves as a matter of routine with any particular bloc. Indeed, I hate the very idea of blocs existing at all in the United Nations. It seems to me to be a contradiction in terms. When we hear the world crying out for peace, we may receive the inspiration to deal with these intractable problems and be able really to devote all our resources to the advancement of mankind by applying those eternal truths which will inevitably persist long after we ourselves are utterly forgotten. Thank you, Mr. President.
Yeah, welcome back. Let me just take you through this snippet a bit, and let us also have a comprehensive view of our discussion this morning. And you know, definitely, the federal government a few months ago reeled out the achievement of the defense headquarters as it revealed that Nigerian soldiers in a period of 10 months in 2022 killed 2,805 Boko Haram insurgent terrorists in the northeast, as well as over 673 bandits in the northwest. And when you look at this particular aspect of it, you definitely know that the Nigerian military have been doing very, very well over the past time. And definitely, there's still that need for them to improve on what they've done so far, because we've seen major achievements in the northeast, where we normally have frequent bomb blasts and kidnapping most often. But now, the issue now is that in the northwest, over 5,281 livestock were recovered, with over 6,951 rounds of ammunition and 120 assorted rifles were recovered from the armed bandits by the gallant troops in the zone of, that's the northwest. And then 455 kidnapped victims were rescued, over 455, I mean to say, and over 461 arrests were made in the zone, with high-profile armed bandits, gun runners, and collaborators, while a total cash of over 6,365,550 was recovered from the armed bandits and their informant in the northwestern zone of Nigeria. Other activities of the military highlighted that by Mr. Femi Adesina include rescue of a total of about 864 kidnapped victims by troops across the country, recovery of a total of 9,684,797 liters of stolen AGO, and over 33,516,000 DPK. So equally, over 1,910 criminal elements were arrested, and large cache of arms, ammunition, and equipment were recovered during the period. So if you look at all this achievement made by the military, we still have challenges. We cannot run away from that. Just over the weekend, yeah, some persons were killed along the Abuja-Lokoja road, and also you noticed what happened in Abuja, despite the fact that, yes, over the weekend, the military was able to do so many clearance operations, and they killed some bandits. They've made so much achievement, but still, the pangs are still there. So this morning, we have Mr. Gwaman Datong to discuss this with us. Good morning, Mr. Datong, for joining us this morning.
Good morning.
Now, what is your feel about the current security situation in Nigeria?
It's rather so unfortunate that we found ourselves in this kind of terrible mess. It's a prayer now that God should give us the skill, the thought, the ability to be able to organize ourselves to resolve the issue. But it's really, really terrible. Even in the federal capital, where you're supposed to have life 24 hours, but by 7 o'clock, if you're not home, people will start calling you, where are you? So it's very, very terrible. There is high sense of awareness of insecurity, high sense of it. So it makes every other activity to take the backstage. So it will affect the economy, affect every other thing. So it's very, very unfortunate.
Last week, there was a major shake-up within the Nigeria Armed Forces, and we've seen so many deployment, redeployment, within the hierarchy of the Nigerian military. And as a result of that, we've also seen some kind of onslaught over the weekend by the Nigerian armed forces, most especially along the Buhari-Kubwa axis. If you look at all these things that is happening, definitely it will be as a result of the anger by Mr. President on the current state of issues in the country. And also the president has queried so many of them that why are they not seeing the success being recorded despite all the efforts and then the increment and the budgetary allocation of the Nigerian Army, the Nigerian Navy, and the Nigerian Air Force. So what is really happening?
Well, so if lots of money has been spent, lots of equipment have been bought, lots of shake-ups in the security agencies have been done, and no solution, then there is something wrong with the approach to insecurity. So insecurity, as we see it today, is actually a level in conflict. Insecurity normally comes from certain early warning issues that we left pending. It's quite unfortunate that insecurity solutions are looked at from the military perspective, but they are really not supposed to be a purely military solution. Why you and I are looking at it as needing a military solution is because it has gone to a crisis level. It's normal to have conflicts, normal, but the way you manage it through the period of its lifespan is what is most important. And at every level of the lifespan of conflict, there is a different level of expertise, a different group of expertise that is supposed to be the one to resolve it. But it's only visible to you and I when it has become a killing activity. And then it's unfortunate that our leadership actually places the solution of insecurity, which is a level of crisis, a level of conflict, in the hands of the military alone. I pity them, but it's unfortunate that we cannot get to the end by using purely military solutions.
So that's a major fear, because the military should be the last resolve, and now we've gotten to the last resolve.
We should not even, on normal situations, allow it to get to the military solutions, because, as I said, once we get to the military solution, that means it has gotten out of hand, and you cannot continue to resolve something that has roots somewhere else by something else. I mean, you need to nip it at the bud so that it will not grow. Every relationship has a potential conflict, because between me and you, we have different upbringings, so many different things that are in our brains. Once we meet, we have things that need to make us to collaborate. Your values may be slightly different from mine. My values will be slightly different from yours. At our initial stages of existence together, we will have an objective of being together. But once we start the relationship, we find out that those values that you have that are different from mine bring in conflicts. If we are not able to resolve those issues, at the end of the day, we will start moving apart from ourselves. our objective of being together will no longer be the major issue. Whatever it is that is our difference is the issue. From just being saying, no, I know, I don't like the way he smiles. I don't like the way he's always smiling. You think it's a normal thing, but for me, it's not. From just talking like that, tomorrow it becomes annoying. The next time you see, I will slap you. It has come to a crisis stage. Even if you ask the people that are fighting, they don't even know why they are doing it. I give you part of the issue in our current situation: job security. So I graduate from the university hoping to come and contribute my quota to the growth of society. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years, I don't have a job. My contract with society has failed me. I have crisis between me and society. Therefore, I see anybody that has made it to be that person that is taking what is supposed to be mine. So I will do anything that is possible, or I will seek any opportunity to see that I take what is mine from him.
You mean any survival?
Good. It's
reason?
more of a survival thing. In fact, generally, it's just a survival. So it's easy for us to say, these people are killing themselves in this state. It will come to us because such situations still are prevalent in every other society of the country. That's why I said it's really, really pathetic. The solutions to the problems are not being looked at correctly.
If that's the case, and the Nigerian police also have made so much effort in nipping this in the bud. In the past, when we used to have Abba Kyari, we've seen so many success recorded until he had one of these issues with the NDLEA. But then the Nigerian security, that's the Nigerian police force, do you think they've still maintained that tempo of fight against insurgency?
So the Nigerian police is also handicapped. Handicapped in the sense that they don't have the required technology. Bandits will pick up someone, they will use phones that are GPS positioned to call and ask for ransom. And sometimes they even discuss with the police themselves, and they are not arrested. Something is wrong. If the police has the technology to locate the person, and they are not doing it, then there is something wrong with processes or persons within the police force. They're handicapped. Honestly, if you see the way you drive past in the night, you see them, you will know that they're really doing their best. Sometimes rain is falling, it's drizzling, you see them by the roadside. Sometimes very late in the night, you see them still by the roadside while others are sleeping. So they actually want to do the job, but there's a handicap. That intelligence, that technology for them to be able to, have intelligence about people, I don't think they have enough. There's a lot of information about this insecurity or people that cause insecurity within our communities, but they don't get to the police. You can imagine the police with his uniform. Everybody, the good, the bad, and the ugly, is looking at him. He's even a target. So they are handicapped. I believe they are doing a lot, but the police force, the government, should work as much as possible to ensure that they give them adequate technology. Today we have facial recognition. Why can't we equip these people with devices like that? Once you get to the police station, they pick up your face, and it should be in their database. At any point in time, if they see you somewhere, they mark you. They don't have to arrest you. They will mark you and keep tracking you. They'll even know things that you're doing. So every police checkpoint, as we call it here, will have information about you. So that by the time you commit that crime, it's already known places that you have gone to. Such technology was used during the COVID to, identify people that were together with somebody that was that had COVID. So they easily gather them together and give them treatment. I mean, technology is everywhere. It's the way you buy and apply it within your system. We should, as a matter of fact, look at our security as very, very paramount and do whatever it is to ensure that we resolve it. There's food security, there's job security, there's so many insecurities that we don't really look at. But we look at, it's only when somebody is killed that we think, there's insecurity in Abuja. So that's the major issue that I think is with not just the police and even the military.
Now, people have raised issues that it seems there is no kind of cohesion among the security teams we have across the country. And if you look at if you listen to what the Deputy Speaker said of the National Assembly, that's of the House of Reps, he did mention that there were about 44 reoccurrence of information given out by the DSS that the Kuje prison will be attacked. But unfortunately, we didn't really see those that are supposed to enforce this information gotten from the DSS didn't actually do their job. So could it be that there is no kind of synergy amongst the security apparatus we have in the country?
Well, for the information to be given to either the police or soldiers by the DSS, that means there is some form of synergy. But probably the process is not right. What is a process? A laid down, step-by-step way of doing things. Most processes are supposed to be dual control. So something should not come and sit on your desk. It's only you that knows about it. No. A certain objective should be spread across different offices. So if DSS should give information, there should be a certain office, not to call the IG, for example, to tell him as a person. There should be an office. Some of the information are actually normally classified. But even classified information, you need more than one person to handle it, a process to handle it, so that when it fails, you have one person that you need to deal with. If you employ me in ASO TV as a newscaster, and there's a breach of security here, even if I was seated by the door when it happened, you can't blame me for it, that I was there, because my role is actually a newscaster. But if you add the role of security to my newscasting job, then you hold me for it. So we need to have processes and rules attached to people, and people should be responsible for it. So if Kuje prison attack was passed through a certain process, you look at the process and see where there was a failure. And then if it's the process that was not well looked at, then you correct the process when it fails. But if we look at just synergy in the way of somebody picking a phone to call someone and tell him that this is happening, then we'll keep failing at it. These things will keep happening. As you said, 44 times. It's a lot. Some people should lose their jobs for that, because one failure costs the lives of a lot of people.
And when you look at all that is happening, and after that of the Kuje prison, I remember there was also an attack just of recent in that same Kuje, and we also moved forward to what happened in Buari, Kubwa, where we lost some officers of the Nigerian Army, and also you look at what happened in the Zuma Rock, or around the Zuma Rock that night, and the fear was there. People were not happy, despite the fact that over the weekend we saw the Nigerian Army doing clearance operation. But all that we'll definitely discuss when we return back from the break, so that we can have an enormous view of what it means to have the Nigerian army in this particular fight, and how can we revive that aspect of the IRT, Intelligent Response Team, that we are very, very fast in tackling some of these issues, until when Abba Kyari had his own issue with the NDR. So let's take a break, and then when we return back, I'll definitely continue with the discussion.
We are a nation blessed with people of diverse cultures, religions, languages, and opinions. It is ironic that we are now being ripped apart by our greatest strength, our diversity. We have allowed intolerance, insensitivity, bigotry, and nepotism to blind our vision of the greatness we can achieve working together as one. We may not have the same culture, nor religion, nor language, but we all belong to the same nation by the divine will of God. We did not choose to be Nigerians. Nigeria chose us. This nation is our divine heritage, and if we open our eyes, we would realize that what divides us pales in comparison to what unites us. And by the comparison and conciliation of our differences, we will grow until our differences disappear. Our unity cannot be willed by mere declarations, nor do we get unity by ignoring the questions that beg for answers. We must celebrate our diversity and debate our differences without fracturing our unity. Our strength is not in our numbers, but in our unity, because even the weak become strong when united. Nigeria unite. This message is brought to you by Abuja Broadcasting Corporation, owners and operators of ASO Radio 93.5 FM Abuja, ASO Television Star Times Channel 127, Free TV Channel 507, and UHF Channel 38.
Welcome back. We still have Mr. Guaman Datong this morning discussing with us the insecurity we are facing, and how we can resolve the challenges in it. So now, when you look at all that you've said, and then you also notice that, yes, despite the fact that we have these challenges, there's that need for collaborative effort, because we saw after the attack at Buari, in between Kubwa Buari, intelligence that was there was that they were coming to attack what are they calling it? The legal school, the school of the law school there.
Law school, yeah.
And as a result of that, intelligence got to the presidential guards, which they were able to like comb that particular axis. And unfortunately for them, they lost just very few soldiers in that particular fight. But still, they were able to kill some of these bandits. So when you look at it, at what point should we respond to all this whenever we get intelligence?
So if intelligence comes early enough, which is also what I've been talking about at the different levels of conflict. If it comes early enough, the less the casualties will have. But if it comes very late, then there's an issue. But you can't say that it can't come late. It can't come late because things can fail. Because you don't have a contract with information that you must come 2 weeks before. It can come an hour before the event happens. But how swift you are able to take or respond to that is very, very important. So you must have people on standby. Standby, that is just their work. You know, government normally tries to say, let's save money. We've kept these people for over 5 years now. Nothing happened. Let's put them in other jobs. Meanwhile, that one day that you will need them to respond within an hour, they won't be there, and you will have a lot of casualties. Government should spend money on security.
Now, government should spend money on security. We've seen government increasing the pay of, increasing the budgetary allocation of the Nigerian Armed Forces. But the question that still remains is just like the same thing you raised, that the security, most especially the police, should be fully strengthened to be able to fight some of these challenges.
Yes. So they spend money on military hardware. They don't put enough information on information gathering. That is the most important. Because if you're able to get information about somebody, some criminal, before he picks up his gun, you can deal with it earlier. In fact, if he knows that you are trailing him, he'll be very careful. But if you don't have that information and he goes ahead to pick up his gun and he goes ahead to travel from where his house is to the point of the crime, he will commit it. But if you have enough information, at every stage of it, you will know how dangerous or how less dangerous it is. Because while he's at his point, in his home, he will not be carrying the gun. If you arrest him there, you are safer. Even if he's going to shoot you, that's meaning if he has the gun in his house, it's experts that are there already, so they know how to curb it. But you don't have any information about, you don't know that he's a criminal, you don't know he's a member of any gang, you don't know anything about him. He wakes up, goes over to wherever he wants to kill people, or in the case of the kidnaps of those little children, they go there, pick up these people. You are aware that these people are just next door. You didn't provide any security in that place. So it's really pathetic. So early response, it's very, very important. And you need to put people on standby, real standby, not giving them any other job, especially in this current situation that we find ourselves in. In fact, sometimes they can even do mock. They'll just go somewhere, let people even know that there is somebody that is watching over them. Because security, your feeling about security, your feeling that you have security is also in itself part of security. Because if you feel insecure, it's also in itself insecurity. So if in let's say Gwarimpa, you have you see one day helicopter going around somewhere, or you see soldiers come in, go out. You don't know what they came to do. It's just a mock. You don't know, but you will feel, okay, these people are working. You understand? So your feeling of security will now increase. But if we don't respond to stuff like that, then as people feel insecure, that is how the country is also insecure, because somebody that is supposed to work till 7 in the office will close by 5. So it has affected other things. Something is supposed to do early or late, he will not be able to do it because he has reduced the time he can stay awake.
Okay, let's come to community vigilance. But before we move into that, we'll definitely put up our phone line so that our viewers and listeners at home can also join the conversation. And the number to call is 09057408127. I'll take that again, 09057408127. So now, when we look at community vigilance, because I believe what actually happened between Buhari and Kubwa, that axis there where there was that attack, was that we definitely have to give it to the military, because they lost some of their members, and also at the same time again, when the information got to them, they were able to take a swipe and response on that. Otherwise, it would have been a very huge loss for us as a nation if the law school was attacked, or even I think a university around that axis. So these are the issues we have to give kudos to the military.
Definitely.
Now, when it comes to the issue of community vigilance, now that we don't have the state police, how can we improve our community vigilance? How can we improve that sector?
So every person within a community should look at himself as a security agent, and your role is to provide information as much.
Sorry, let's get this caller. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Okay, we lost the call. The number still to call is 09057408127. I'll take that again, 09057408127. You call stating your name, your location, and you make your submission known. Okay.
So, as I said, every person in a community should see himself as a potential security person, giving information to help the police, the soldiers, the SSS, the DSS. But there's a big problem. I know some complaints within the public that you give information to police.
I was just even coming back to that.
Good.
Okay, let's take this caller. Hello, good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Seems the caller is not even aware. So the number still to call is 09057408127. Please, you can talk out loud, please.
Hello?
Kindly speak out. Yes, I'm listening.
I think what is happening in our nation is a very careful thing for all of us. Hello?
I'm listening. You can go ahead, please.
Yeah, I think what is happening in our nation is a very careful thing for all of us.
Okay.
Hello? Yeah, I think
Can you elaborate, please? Okay, we lost it. Please, when you call, you make sure you are audible by also moving far away from your TV or radio set. That will be able to balance the effect of your voice, and we will be able to hear you clearly. And stating your name is very important, and your location, so that we can give a face to what you are saying. So you can go ahead with that.
Yeah, so people have complained that when they give information to the police, at the end of the day, information gets back to the criminal.
Okay, we think we have him back. Hello, good morning. Good morning. Please, your name and where you are calling from.
Mr. Aburi calling.
Okay, thank you. Please, you can go ahead with your question or your submission with regards to the issue of community policing in Abuja.
Hello?
I'm listening.
Are you hearing me?
Yes, I can hear you clear.
This is The problem is good. Now the problem of Nigeria is don't want to stand on it. That's why we are here. We try to hide. People that are talking to us truth. Once truth is hide, problem will begin to have a wind and flow and fly and take over everything. Truth, the government know everything about what is going on. General Abata said the security is continue and continue. That is means the government on the street know everything about it. So this Nigeria problem is truth. Truth, even you people that is here, not the truth. Who are hiding it, don't want to say. That's the problem.
I don't think we're hiding it. If you listen carefully to what the guest is saying, you definitely pick so much from it. And I think for public interest, I think it will be better you also listen carefully to what we say from the start to this point, so that you can lay a very good foundation or make a very good submission. Or you can also contribute by how can we better the situation. These are the issues we should try to aggravate instead of giving a poor view that nothing is being done. I don't think if nothing is being done, nobody will be existing today in Nigeria.
That's true.
Okay, I think that's all from him, and it is expected because there is one thing we have to do as citizens, and it is very, very important that we don't make those who are causing this fear to feel that they have the day.
Correct.
It is the responsibility of every Nigerian. We have to also give kudos to the military. If they've not been doing things right, we won't have this country. We know what happened in North. So let us get this caller. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Please, your name and where you are calling from.
My name is Jimmy Azgan from Abuja.
Okay, thank you so much. You can go ahead with your submission.
Yeah. For what is happening in our nation, actually, it's a very second thing to Nigeria itself. Because if you look at the four armies, I think they are very right. But look at the kind of gun that those bandits have is more than the one that army have. You understand? So the problem of these bandits is just to come out and cry the way that they will invite other countries that they will come and help them for the first. Look at what is happening in Russia. Look at the way that they are killing people. What is that? So what happened for that marriage is very simple to our leader. And also, if you come back to the prison, to the area council, look at the way that they want that in area council in the prison. So later, the army, our leaders, they carry camp, they carry people boys, they enter with that alarm and very soon they're supposed to come and fight for that bandit. So look at all eyes is on them. So it's a very simple to our politicians. Before we are looking this very far away, but now this is closer to us. Not anybody himself. But what you want to say, be spiritual for yourself and with it. So thank you for what is
Thank you so much for giving us that call and making this submission well known. And if you listen carefully, is definitely on the right track. The army, to a greater extent, they are overstretched.
Yeah.
And we know that we don't have enough police to man every aspect or every state in this particular country. That's why I see most often when there's election, you see they pack the police from one particular state to that where the election is supposed to hold. So these are the critical issues. But can you just give us a round-up talk on what the government needs to do now in terms of the way forward?
Okay, so normally when you're faced with this kind of situation, especially for groups that are already known like this, whether you call them bandits or terrorists, one, you need to decimate them. Decimate them to an extent that they can't do anything. Two, you need to stop their avenue of funding so that they will not be able to bring or buy more weapons. Three, you need to stop their sources of arms and ammunitions. 4, you need to turn back to the people. How is it possible? What will I do to ensure that new people do not take up the direction of these people? And this one will be a continuous thing. That is where the economy comes. Your young people that are very energetic, are they able to have jobs to do? Do they have hope in the country? Do they have any aspirations? Is there anybody that that is 18 that is looking up to a company that he would work in this country that produces iPads? That is where the economy now comes in. So he will dedicate his time more on preparing himself to work in that company rather than, doing things that are not right within the company. This thing.
Okay.
So Nigeria should look less at the ability of our military to quell local issues. Let them be more looking at the external issues, and then we can police our communities very well to ensure that we have adequate information and solve them. I don't want to say deal with them.
Okay.
Solve them
Okay.
before time.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Gwama Datong, for joining us this morning and giving us an enlightened view of what the security situation is. And we definitely will be hoping to have more of you, because issues like this need professionals like you to talk on. And definitely to our listeners and our viewers, let us also create that sphere where we'll definitely talk about the achievement of our armed forces and our police, rather than talking more about the issues or the gains of the bandits or the terrorists. We must also give them power. When I say give them power, I mean now the Nigerian army, by praising, eulogizing what they are doing. We know they need to do more, but then we must not also create that sphere where we believe that the bandits have taken over the country. Nigeria will definitely remain great. So this is how far we can go. My name is Issa Nuhu. Have a wonderful day and stay blessed.